Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Kennedy with Leading RE. Thank you for the next block of the Brave New World email grouping. We got Boomtown on the line with Sue and Allison. And just to give you a little bit of logistics here, we're going to do a 10 to 15 minute kind of conversation slideshow, and then we're going to open up for Q&A at the end. We should be done probably 25 minutes total. And it's Friday afternoon. Everybody's got places to go, and maybe not, you're stuck home, but got things to do at least. Again, my name is Jeff Kennedy. I'm the Director of Sales for Leading RE. One of my roles for the network is to help co-manage the Preferred Vendor Program Solutions Group. One of our Solutions Group partners is Boomtown out of Charleston, South Carolina. Very good partnership with them. And life is so crazy right now. Everything has changed. And we were all at our Leading RE conference about a month ago. And a week before conference, things were fairly normal. You kind of heard about something in Washington, maybe, and 5 weeks later, less than 5 weeks later, everybody has been fundamentally changed and shifted, at least temporarily. So we know that agents are some of them are struggling and just wondering what programs are out there, what technology is out there that they can use to stay connected as well as productive. And so we reached out to Boomtown, and they've got some thoughts they wanted to share with you guys today. So that's why we're here. Sue Lee and Allison Woodward. Sue, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of show us what you got for us?
Perfect. Thank you so much for that quick introduction. And my name is Sue. I've been with Boomtown for the past 9 years. And my role really is from a strategic level to partner up with companies like Leading RE with Jeff to really provide value to your company, to your organization, to your network. And my goal today really is to kind of address a couple of things, what Boomtown's about, but primarily with this whole uncertain times, we want to make sure that people are aware of what's going on in the general landscape, what we're seeing from a data standpoint, what consumers are doing from a search standpoint, and what you as an agent can really leverage tools like Boomtown and other tools to really solidify your business and set yourself up to go through this hard times and also for future success. So I'm going to do a couple of slides here shortly, and then I'll pass it over to my colleague Allison, who will continue the rest of the slide, and then we'll, like Jeff said, open up an opportunity for you guys to have some questions, and hopefully we can answer some of those. Is that okay?
Yeah, and before you get started, let's just set the table a little bit.
Yeah.
So Boomtown has a product, but do you only work with brokers, or are you able to work with bigger teams or agents, just so I can make sure people are turned on to the right thing?
Perfect. That's a great question, Jeff. As a matter of fact, Boomtown, we actually have a solution for every sort of business that you run, whether you're a single agent, whether you're a team environment, large brokerage, small brokerage, mom and pop shops. We do have a specific solution for each specific type of agent base. So.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Jeff, should I start here real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yes,
Okay.
see your slides.
All right, guys. Well, I definitely appreciate this quick intro, and then 25, 30 minutes, we'll try to wrap this up and provide you guys some opportunities to ask questions. Like I said earlier, we're with Boomtown, and I'm going to just go show a quick picture. Obviously, that's me here, a boy named Sue. That's Allison. And a couple of things about our history. Boomtown was formed in 2006. We did some R&D research, and back in 2008, we actually launched. And if you guys remember, and if you
Hey,
were in
Sue.
real estate at the time, yeah.
Your audio is cutting in and out just a bit, so I don't know if you're on a headset or if there's a way, just to let you know, every couple of seconds it sounds like you're a bit far away. And I know we're all working through this new technology with this
Yeah, no, that
crazy
is
time, so I
not
just
good.
wanted you to know that. Allison, are you ready? Are you able to jump in?
Yeah, is he there? Sue, are you able to? Now I can't
Sorry,
hear
guys. You want to just take over?
Yeah.
Well, I had somebody yesterday, one of these sessions, they completely all lost Wi-Fi in the middle, and then I had somebody earlier today whose 2-year-old was potty training and said she might come and tell everybody about her success. So this is just part of the thing when we're working from home. You can't control things you can't control, so not a big deal. Are you able to walk us through anything, or does he have access to the
Well, so
slides?
he's got the only problem is he's got the control of the slides. So, um,
All right.
oh, there you
Can you
are.
guys hear me now?
Yeah.
He's back. Yes,
I'm
much
sorry,
better.
guys.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
internet. All right, where was I? Company history. So going back in 2008, if you guys remember, if you were in real estate at the time, that really was the economic downtime. The whole mortgage back thing blew up in everyone's face, and believe it or not, we actually launched our platform at that time, and everyone thought we were crazy because who needed a solution like Boomtown for real estate right at the time? But in reality, from the get-go, we were instantly profitable. And in 2014, we took a growth equity partnership. So that way we can really get some resources to continue to innovate and build right technology and tools to really equip the agents for long-term success, right? And now you fast forward today, we are over 3,400 platforms, over 42,000 users, both in the United States and Canada. And we actually just ventured into Mexico. We have over 350 employees, 3 offices. Like I said earlier, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area office, and my counterpart Allison's from our headquarters in Charleston. Um, and so, real quick, this is going to be a quick, slide through Boomtown, so that way you guys can know a little bit more about details of Boomtown. We really fundamentally exist to make real estate agents like yourselves successful, right? And right now, if you really do your independent research and look into the top production agent teams, brokerages across the nation, we're really proud of the statistics that in Real Trends top 250 teams, over 40% of them are Boomtown users. We know that they have a million different options to choose from when it comes to technology and vendor partnerships, but we're so proud that they actually partner with us, and really the best of the best do use Boomtown. And primarily they use us to do several things. Number one, lead generation, nurture, incubation of leads. We also have now a service to engage the leads for you so that they're a little bit more teed up by the time they're passed over to an agent. Real quick though, I want to share some data that's hopefully pertinent and relevant to every single one of you guys. What we've been noticing from statistically tracking all the behavior mechanism, the consumers across the board, all the MLSs that we partner up with, we've actually been seeing a drastic decline in buyer activity, right? And obviously this is because of the uncertain times, because of this whole virus thing and the whole state world being on shutdown and lockdown. And this is relevant because you guys need to make sure in these uncertain times that you're actually delivering something that consumers truly do need, right? They obviously are scared. They're not going to showing appointments, etc. So what are you doing fundamentally to set your business up for success? Another statistic that we've been seeing is that portal lead sources that agents have relied upon for many, many years now, up to a decade, right? Zillows, the Trulias of the world. We've been noticing again a steady decline in that source. And of course, as an agent, the top of the funnel, whether it's your sphere, referral sources, new leads, they're still considered that bucket of leads, right? And it's obviously drying up. And so you don't want to be in a position where you no longer have a legitimate pipeline. Okay. We've also seen users decline from month to month, even this short time span, right, from February to March. We've seen a negative user response of 7.4%. However, even though we see less people coming on board and searching and less sellers coming on board and looking at home valuations, we've actually seen that these people who do come on board actually stay a lot longer. And that's actually a very relevant data. Okay, so I want you guys to be aware of that as I present later on a couple of things that you can leverage with Boomtown on. We've also seen paid leads obviously go down. People are afraid to buy more leads, to put more resource into lead generation. However, here's the inverse opposite effect. We actually seen the cost per lead become lower and lower. So if you are in a position to actually purchase leads, whether it's, again, the aggregators of the world or Boomtown, and now is a great time, essentially, because you're having less and less competition. Okay. This is a very interesting phenomenon at Boomtown here. We've actually seen, this is what we call the Boomtown effect, right? And as your database grows over time and you're generating new leads, your sphere of influence grows, we've actually seen your annual production increase dramatically, okay? And so, now we actually, instead of calling it a database, we jokingly call it a data bank, right? The ones who actually have the biggest database in quote unquote data bank will actually win out, especially in times like this, okay? Most agents make this fundamental mistake. They usually adopt this churn and burn mentality, right? They adopt new leads, they prospect it, call, and then you close, and great. That's amazing, right? You're going to get some good return on investment. But with Boomtown, with the whole concept of the data bank, we want your entire database to continue to be proactively worked on. You'd never, ever, ever let go of leads that you generated because you actually spent money to generate that lead. If they don't close today, well, what's to prevent that lead from closing tomorrow or next year, right? And so what Boomtown can provide is a system that can actively engage your leads for long term, okay? Key to success, this is pretty straightforward. I just want to touch upon a couple of these. Obviously, you want to build a follow-up process and protocol scripts, things that, these are fundamental to your business. When you're a new agent, you have to establish that. But as you're growing your business, obviously, as you're building your book of business and you're hiring agents, you need to train them. You need to have them engage the leads quickly, agent accountability, lead qualification. All those things are going to be foundational, right? Boomtown, one of the things that we want you to kind of know, right, is that you no longer have to just get a lead and try to service that lead yourself. Okay, we actually launch a very complex system called Success Assurance Program where we actually now can proactively engage your leads for you. Okay, obviously when we engage the leads initially, that cuts down on the frustration that agents have. They don't prospect well, they don't respond quickly enough. And so instead of having your agents do that, Boomtown can actually do that for you, okay, and on your behalf. And once we engage them, we tee them up. The goal there is to get a much more warmer and hot lead over to you guys, okay? All leads are obviously engaged within 90 seconds. That's now the Boomtown standard. We also engage the leads for an entire 12-month cycle. So if we aren't able to actually engage that lead, then we will just basically archive that lead for you. And we can talk about that in details in the future. Next slide here, lead generation service. Okay, so one of the things that Boomtown we're really proud of is we were the first real estate technology company to ever have the premier partnership with Google. And the reason why that's relevant is we're not just an average AdWords certified company, right? We actually manage millions of dollars of advertising budget. So we have a huge insight into what really fundamentally works for your business. So this is a very important point. Just as you compare different vendors out there, make sure obviously at the very basic level that they're a premier partner. Okay? Now Boomtown, we start off with all our clients, we build a world-class website. Okay, we're not just a standard standalone website. We are also providing the lead generation, the CRM, and all the functionalities included. But the front end, I'm just going to touch upon this. If you guys aren't actually having a fully functional IDX implemented into your website, you're completely missing the boat, okay? Consumers nowadays, whether they're buyers or sellers, they're going to come in, they're going to engage your website. Yes, they care somewhat about your branding. Yes, they care about, your network, your luxury portfolio, the past sold data, all things that you provide. But fundamentally, you have to give them a search functionality, right? That's both for a buyer and seller. And the reason why that's so important is obviously the buyers, when they start their journey, they want to be able to filter, look for homes very easily. So if anything today, make sure that whether you get Boomtown or a third-party provider, that they give you a world-class IDX website. Okay, and that's what Boomtown provides. Another thing that we do provide is a mobile app. Agents on the go, we know that you're busy, obviously, so we want you to be fully equipped with a world-class mobile app, and you can engage the leads, follow up with them. And I'll show you a couple more things, and then we'll wrap this up. Predictive CRM, this is where Boomtown separates ourselves from other vendors. And what it means by predictive is the buzzword that you guys are probably hearing on the street is artificial intelligence, right? Boomtown, we really started this whole trend where the CRM is no longer just an Excel spreadsheet or a dead dumb CRM, but it's actually intelligent. And the reason why it's important is because now with our predictive tools, we can actually help your leads or help your agents engage your leads much more effectively by knowing exactly who to call, when to call, why you should be engaging them. We also have something which I don't have time right now to go over, but we call it the best fit leads. Think of it as the match.com of the real estate market, where we can actually match leads on the front end, the consumers, to actually listings that you hold or listings that are in the MLS. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the agent's hands. Okay. Succession management. This is something that Boomtown, we started a long time ago. Okay, we don't just pride ourselves in developing the right tools and the right technology, but we really put the service behind that. Okay, whether it's your implementation team, onboarding team, client concierge, support. We're one of the few companies from a real estate technology standpoint that has live technical support. Currently, we're open 6 days a week. Okay, so just be aware of that as well. And we provide a great atmosphere, just like the Leading RE network, which is I'm really impressed by the network that you guys have developed over the years. Boomtown is the exact same way in concept, right? We develop and foster a relationship amongst our client base, the agent base, even the lender partnerships. And we provide some of the best resources in terms of the communities, videos, libraries, how-tos. And furthermore, just like Leading RE, we provide an annual conference where our clients can actually come. Unfortunately, with this whole COVID thing, we have to cancel that as well. But we're doing actually a virtual conference right now, and it's ongoing for our clients. Okay. Success Assurance Program. This is just a basic pricing. We'll just skip it. If you guys have more questions about it, we can go over that. Okay. And then, oops.
So, as I say, I know you got some more slides to get through, but stepping away from Boomtown product for a second and just thinking like at the macro level about what's going on with traffic in general. I think you had a comment earlier today that you said there was less people on, but they're staying longer while they're looking for homes or looking at listings and stuff like that. Why do you think that is? Like, I know for me, anecdotally, I sold a house and I'm in a rental now and I want to buy. So I get on every day and look at whatever price drops happened, if there's new stuff that came on, I get on. But I'm not ready to buy right now. I'm kind of going to probably wait. Is that what you guys think is happening too? There's a lot of people on the fence just waiting for this to play out a little bit more, which means there's going to be a huge pent-up demand influx of business when this thing turns. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, so that's a great question there, and what we've been noticing is twofold. Number one, like you said, the searchers are a little bit more reluctant. We've been on a historic run, right, when it comes to being a seller market. So those agents who are great at the listings and the presentations and getting those listings agreement are positioned, in the right time. But as the economy changes and we've seen consumers a little bit more hesitant, there's less people bidding for homes. Obviously, you're going to see the shift, all right, fundamentally to a more buyer side. And so those consumers who are searching, they're a little bit more reluctant because they think pricing might go down. There's various different variables that impact that. But I would say that's the basic level. But if you think about the next step of the lead incubation, which I was alluding to in the very beginning, these consumers who are actually been searching for months and months now, they actually are more viable than ever before because of reasons like maybe it was timing, maybe they weren't pre-approved for a loan. Now they are, right? And they're very, very active. And if you had adopted a system that didn't really give you the data behind that, you would have never known that. But because Boomtown tracks every single key behavior pattern of the consumers that are on your website, we know that these people who have registered are very, very active because at the moment when the economy shifted or changes slightly, obviously they're going to jump all in and purchase homes. Right? Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. And going back to something else you said earlier in your slide deck, um, that I mean, if you think about it, when if you're in the stock market and it starts to tank and everybody's selling, that there's a kind of school of thought that says that's when you want to buy is when everyone else is selling because you're buying it at a cheaper price. And so in context to what we're talking about today, there is less competition for those leads. And so when everybody else is pulling out and stopping, I'm not saying you should, mortgage your house and put it all into leads, but if you have dollars allocated other places that are maybe not the best way to use them, you would agree that you can redirect that because you're getting better leads, more of them for less money right now.
Absolutely. And remember, this is a long-term strategy, right? And if you guys remember what I said from the beginning, back in 2009, around that time when the market crashed, I purchased a home, fortunately, at that time, right, when the market crashed. And people like, I'm not using myself as the best example, but there are people who, even in the economic downtime, they're willing to purchase. And I just so happen to be one of them. And did I know that the market is going to correct and go up? Maybe, potentially, right? But who knows? But I was in a great position at that time. I finally had the savings and I purchased, right? And it wasn't because just because I had the resources, but also because I was getting married. So a lot of these variables, things that are happening on a day-to-day basis are going to happen. And so what you're saying, Jeff, is absolutely true. You're now, if you're in a position as an agent and this is your business, you've been in business for 2, 5, 10 years, you've gone through some of these cycles before, you know that people are jumping out, meaning other agents are jumping out of the market. So this is a great time for you to build upon that quote unquote data bank that we're talking about, right? Because the cost per lead is lower than ever before. You capture those, you nurture that, and it's always a long-term strategy.
And I got one question here, and we have time for one question. I need to give you back the presenter. Let's see here. I'm going to give you back presenter. They asked if you could go back to your PowerPoint and go to the slide that talks about engaging leads within 90 seconds.
Sure. Let me.
While he's pulling that up too, I just wanted to note on that too. As he was saying, right now it's more important than ever to really focus on your database. Whether you've got the money to generate new leads, if you do have that money, now is definitely the time to not only generate new leads, but re-engage your existing database. To get your brand out there and, let everyone know that you are the expert, that you are the person to turn to with the knowledge of what's going on in the market. We've got tools in our system through Marketing Central that allow you to create these online advertisings on social media, which right now everyone I think is at home and they're on their phones and they're looking at social media. And so this is such a good time to utilize those kinds of tools to really get your brand out there and start generating some new leads, but also really re-engaging those existing leads that you already have.
Exactly. Yep.
That's a great point.
So Jeff, I'm at the slide. What was the question?
Let me see. So let me see. Whoever had that question, if we have about 2 more minutes, so if you can send me the actual question. They just asked you to bring that up. Maybe they just wanted to see it, take a screenshot of it. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So if you use Boomtown, I'm assuming that the speed by which a lead is engaged is probably directly correlated to the conversion rate, right? So if you wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever, it gets worse and worse and worse. So the fresher you can hit it, the better. And so you're saying with using Boomtown, you're going to get a 90-second engagement rate.
Yep, and that's a typical law of diminishing return, right? So the longer you wait on that, the worse and the more diminishing return you have. So by the time you're leaving these leads that you're generating from other sources, even from other aggregators, for the 5 minutes or beyond, chances are you're going to not be able to close that. Number one, because that consumer was potentially waiting for a call, they didn't receive it. So guess what they're going to do? Go elsewhere. They're going to go to your competition. They're going to go to another website and register there. So speed to lead is foundation to any business that we've seen. And this is not just in the real estate vertical, right? You guys have been in other verticals, hopefully, or you guys purchase cars, you guys have done transactions, things like that. if you don't get someone to respond right away, you know, chances are you're probably going to look elsewhere as well. So you're no different from the consumers that are coming to your website.
Yeah, I mean, we've been taught instant gratification. We want it. We want it now. We want data now. You know, um, especially as you have a new generation of people coming out that don't remember before there was Google. Like they never went to the Dewey
Yeah.
Decimal System to look up, you know, whatever the thing is they wanted to look up. They just Google it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
there. So we've been conditioned. And if you spend a ton of money to get a bunch of leads, and the leads are coming in, and you're, you know, someplace where you're not available, your phone's off or whatever, you're busy, then you're just
Mm-hmm.
that's just gone. You spent the money to get the lead and it's wasted. So hey,
Yep.
this is great.
And
We
that's
gotta
why
jump
we're
off
seeing.
here. Thanks for your time, Sue and
Yeah.
Allison. Go
Good.
ahead.
I was going to say real quick, and that's why, again, going back to this, it's so important for agents to not waste their resources trying to do this on their own, right? They adopt companies, virtual assistants, ISA models, things like that. When in reality, a vendor like Boomtown, you know, we already have this tried and true process. So embracing a system like Boomtown can allow you to, you know, free yourself up to doing things that you're paid to and you're good at, right? Which is the showing appointments, which is the listing presentation. Let us incubate and nurture the leads for you. And that's the point of the slide.
That that's right. So we're gonna go ahead and send this recording out to everybody, and we'll post it in Access. Everybody, thanks for your time today. Thank you, Sue and Allison. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Wash your hands, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. Yep. Take care. Bye.
Bye.